It's 11 p.m. Your room is quiet, except for the soft hum of your laptop fan and the sound of your own breathing. You just finished another English lesson on your phone. Vocabulary, grammar, an article you read twice, maybe even a whole TV episode with subtitles on. Your brain feels full, like you understand everything now. And then, almost as a test, you open your mouth to say one sentence out loud. Nothing comes out. Not because you don't know the words. You know hundreds of them, maybe thousands. But somewhere between your mind and your mouth, they get stuck. Heavy, foreign, embarrassing, even when there's nobody in the room to hear you. So you close your mouth. You go back to reading silently. Safer that way. Here's the thing. This isn't a small personal failure. This is the single most common trap English learners fall into all over the world. And it has nothing to do with talent. It has everything to do with one missing habit. Here's what nobody tells you. Fluency isn't built in conversations with other people. That's just where it gets tested. Real fluency is built in the hundreds of quiet hours before that conversation ever happens. Alone, in your room, when nobody's watching and nothing's at stake. Think about it this way. An athlete doesn't become strong on game day. They become strong in thousands of repetitions nobody ever sees. In an empty gym, lifting the same weight over and over until it stops feeling heavy. Your voice works exactly the same way. You don't need a native speaker. You don't need an expensive class. You don't even need anyone to correct you. You need 5 small habits you can start tonight, in the next 5 minutes, completely alone. Picture this. You walk into your kitchen to make coffee. Instead of doing it in silence, like you have every single day of your life, you say out loud to no one, "I'm making coffee before I start my morning." That's it. One short sentence tied to something your hands are already doing. This is habit 1, narrating your actions. It sounds almost too simple to matter, but it does something powerful. It wires English directly to what you're doing in real time, so you stop translating in your head word by word and start thinking in the language itself. Try it with anything: making your bed, tying your shoes, opening your laptop. I'm opening my laptop to check my email. 30 seconds a day. That's the entire commitment. Now, picture this. You glance at your phone on the table. You look at it for a second, and instead of scrolling, you talk about it. Honestly, I use this thing way too much, but I guess it's kept me connected to people I'd otherwise lose touch with. 60 seconds. One object, no script, no notes. This is habit 2, the 1-minute opinion drill. The goal isn't correct grammar. The goal is flow. Training your mouth to keep moving even when your brain hasn't planned the next sentence yet. Normally, this is where you'd stop, feel a flash of embarrassment, and give up for the night. Instead, you smile, actually smile, and say, "Let me rephrase that." Then you just say it again, correctly, and keep going, like it never happened. This is habit 3, self-correction out loud. It sounds small, but it rewires something big. Your brain stops treating mistakes as emergencies that shut you down and starts treating them as normal traffic on the road to fluency. Something you simply steer around, not something that stops the car. Habit 4 is about emotion. You're scrolling through a video or a photo a friend sent you. Instead of just nodding silently, you react out loud. Wait, that's actually incredible. Or, I did not see that coming. This is practicing emotional reactions. It's the difference between English that sounds like a textbook, flat and correct, and English that sounds like you, with rhythm, melody, and real feeling behind it. This is often the missing piece, even for learners with excellent grammar. And here's a 5th habit, one most people never think to try. Record yourself. Just 30 seconds on your phone, talking about your day. Don't watch it back right away. Wait a day. When you finally listen, you're not looking for mistakes. You're listening for one thing only. Did the ideas connect? Did one sentence lead naturally into the next? And one day, you'll realize you sound like someone who's actually fluent, because by then, you already are. Here's the science in one sentence. Speaking is a physical skill, not just a knowledge skill. Your tongue, your jaw, your breath, they need repetition, the same way your fingers need repetition to play piano. You can know every note on a piano and still not be able to play a song. Speaking English is no different. These 5 habits give your mouth the repetitions it needs, without an audience, without pressure, without cost. So let's go back to that room at 11 p.m. Same tired evening, same quiet room. But this time, you don't freeze. You narrate the small things you're doing. You give your honest opinion about something in the room for 60 seconds straight, without stopping. A mistake slips out. You smile, rephrase, and move on without missing a beat. Something surprises you, and instead of staying quiet, you let yourself react out loud. And before bed, you record 30 seconds about your day, just for yourself. Nothing about your day changed, but something about your voice did. And here's the part that matters most. The first time you speak to an actual person in English and the words come out easily, it won't feel like luck. It'll feel inevitable because you already said those sentences 100 times before, alone, in a room exactly like this one. Tonight, pick one thing you're about to do and say it out loud, starting with, I'm about to. That's the whole homework. One sentence. Say it, and you've already started.